Let's do the colors of the Pride flag, Perfume edition. So red symbolizes passion. It also symbolizes blood. So I think of like the blood, sweat, and tears. I think of the sacrifices that many of our ancestors and transcestors have gone through in order to have the freedoms that we have today. And it's really sad to see those freedoms being constantly diminished from all of the work that has been done across many of the years of queer liberation, as well as a lot of the people who are still fighting for our queer liberation every single day. So for my red fragrance, I chose Chris Collins Croque Moi, and this is a black-owned fragrance brand. This scent is very tart and passionate and sensual, so it's the kind of fragrance I think of when I see the color red. Now, orange is supposed to symbolize healing as well as a little bit of playful fun, so I wanted something that reminds me of both healing and fun. This is Baby Cakes. It's like a sugary, almost like maple syrup, honey kind of scent. It smells like if you took really warm pancakes and poured hot syrup on top with a little bit of honey. This is one of those fragrances that just reminds me that like healing comes from within. Healing comes from looking within the past. Healing comes from healing that inner wound, that childhood wound. So if you're able to do that, I would start doing that if you haven't already, but healing truly does come from within. And when we heal our inner child, then we're able to actually grow and thrive into the adults that we want to be. Yellow is supposed to symbolize thoughts, sunlight, very similar to healing. This is absolutely one of my favorite fragrances of all time. This is Kinesis. It's supposed to be resemblant of Florida water. So it's very like healing, calming, a very floral scent. Honestly, I haven't smelled anything like it. So it's truly gorgeous. It's one of those fragrances that you just want to wear and bask in the sunlight. So this is the one that I had to pick. I haven't worn this one in such a long time, and I think I might have to change that today. Now, green is supposed to symbolize money, prosperity, because baby, this is the time, if you aren't already, to start pouring into queer-owned businesses, black-owned businesses, businesses of color. If there was any time to spend your money, it would be now. There are many corporate entities that will also try to get your money during this time. And listen, if you was not about Pride before June, don't be about Pride during June, because all that is just a cash grab. And honestly, we've had enough of it as community, or at least I've had enough of it. I'm tired of the corporate greed every time Pride comes around. And honestly, every year that goes by, you actually see less corporate sponsorship. You see less corporate interest in Pride and supporting people who are of queer and trans identity. So now is the time to start hiring them and make sure to continue to hire them throughout the year. Also forgot to tell you about the fragrance. So this is Prada Paradigm. This is a citrusy, woody fragrance with some florals. It's supposed to be masculine, but listen, if you already know by now, fragrance is not gendered, and so anyone can wear it. Blue is all about calm and soothing the soul, and this is one of those fragrances that every time I smell it, it does that for me. It's similar to a Bianco Latte, but not quite. I like this fragrance. It's very caramel heavy and vanilla. So the name of the company is M by Zor, but the scent is Alicia. Now, purple is one of my favorite colors, so I couldn't choose. So this is Perfect by Marc Jacobs, and this is by Britney Spears. I'm blanking on the name right now. But these two, this one is like a caramel floral fragrance. The only fragrance that I honestly like by Marc Jacobs, I haven't tried some of the new ones, but this is like the one that was like, yes, I love it. And then the Britney Spears fragrance, like this is that lychee with some like white chocolate. Like this is such a gorgeous fragrance that I have not worn in such a long time, but this is a classic. And purple honestly is just a classic color that's supposed to remind you of spirituality. And anytime you see purple, like at least for me, I think of like queerness, I think of queer identity. Purple is one of those colors that's just like gorgeous on everybody. And every time you see purple, you feel like you're closer to your higher self. But that's not all. We still have more additions to the Pride flag. So if you've ever seen some of the newer Pride flags, they include the colors of the trans Pride flag. And I think that type of visibility is extremely important. And I'm very glad to see that that is the flag that has been adopted. When we talk about the queer liberation, we talk about LGBTQ rights to IA+. When we talk about the full rights of all people who are a part of the community, the T gets left out of the conversation so many times when they are in fact the pioneers and the people who have pushed the systems to stop a lot of the oppression that we go through, whether that's the clothing that we're allowed to wear, because at one point women were not allowed to wear pants. I don't know if we forget that sometimes, but you could be thrown into prison by wearing men's clothing as a feminine identified person. And we have to understand that when it comes to historical events like Stonewall, before Stonewall and after Stonewall, trans people have always been the pioneers and the leaders to push liberation for all, even if it means that they could not have it for themselves. So it's always a thank you. It's always a I see you. It's always a thank you for everything that you always do. Now for the fragrances, this is like a tobacco leathery kind of fragrance, powdery. I really love this fragrance. It's tobacco but very wearable. This one is Cargo de Nuit by Prada. This is a part of their like private line, I believe. This fragrance is very like calm, soothing. The picture, I feel like best represents what this fragrance smells like. And it almost has this like a little bit of like a nutty quality to it. It's very, very comforting. Then lastly, one of my favorite fragrances to have been released this year, this is Peach Aura by Brown Girl Jane. They're about to release another fragrance very soon, and I'm very excited to see what they release. But when it comes to a peach fragrance, when it comes to a gourmand, these are the girls to come to. And last but not least is the color brown, black, and it symbolizes all of the people who are brown and black, a part of our community. Again, another community that is highly unrepresented when it comes to queer identity. But I have this platform and I get to stand in front of you, queer and femme, and very proud of it, and living in my truth and my identity. And I could not pick a better fragrance than hot chocolate, because I'm hot chocolate. I'm kidding. I mean, I am. But no, in all seriousness though, like, you know, I see you, you see me. Like, I'm so proud of the person that I am. I'm so proud of everyone who is allowed to just live the life that they are able to live. And if you are not able to, just know that I still see you, we still see you. And I know this is like a topic that like we don't talk about a lot, but coming out of the closet is not something that everybody can afford to do or is able to do. And just know that you don't have to. You don't ever have to reveal who you are, but just know that you have a community behind you that's always going to be here and always fighting for you, because our lives matter. That's it.